show, not one of them saw me get bitten. That's how fast the snake was. It's busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition. It's all over the place. Black Mambas have got the most bone-chilling hiss of any snake in the world. It's a... For months after, I had pieces of flesh coming out of my throat there. Super, super dangerous snakes, these black mambas. Look at it. Whipped around there and look at the camera. What you reckon? Hi guys, welcome to today's video. As you can see from behind me here, we're in my snake room, our main snake facility. And right here, we've got a whole bunch of containers of animals that are going out. They're not being sold, but we're taking them to our other facility out in Piggly Wiggly for the weekend. It's all happening, but before we're going, I wanted to tell you take you right back to the year 2003, when I was bitten by and envenomated by a big black mamba. It happened at a show. There were 300 people in the audience, and the snake came really hard and fast and bit me. And what I want to do today is not just tell you about it, but I want to bring a black mamba out, go through exactly what happened, what went wrong, and hopefully impart some knowledge and experience that will potentially save some other people's lives. Handling these dangerous snakes, these deadly snakes, is really a learning by trial and error sometimes. So hopefully you can learn from my errors that will keep you safe. So let's get the black mamba out and let me talk you through what happened in September of 2003. Alright guys, now I've taken out a mamba, but it's not going according to plan. You can see right now, it's busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition. It's all over the place. And the one thing I want to show you while we're in the room now, let's just see if you'll sit for a little bit, is I've got very slippery floors in this room so that the snakes can't get a grip. And that's for good reason. I just want the snake to calm down a bit. Look at it, death rolling. I don't know why it's doing that, trying to get away from me. Just wanted to calm down a little bit so that it can slow down, because if I lift it up on a hook now, it'll probably bite me in the face. Come on, it's okay. And I took it out of its enclosure. It lost its mind, just went mad. I'm not letting you flick up. And I'm keeping its head on the ground, because as soon as I lift it off the ground, it's going to try and flick right up and bite me. It's still rolling over. You need to relax. And this is a small mamba, about a 2-meter mamba, about a 7-footer. It's actually one of the display animals that I use. There we go. It's quite a relaxed mamba. You might be saying, Dingo, are you mad? Have you seen the thing going all over the floor? Yes, I saw it. And it's edgy. Whoa, I don't want you climbing. It's a hot day today. And that's why this mamba's doing all kinds of things. Look here. Look at that mouth. If you come up close and if the camera moves in front of you, you can see how nervous and erratic these snakes are. Just wave your hand there above the camera. Look at that. Flick of the mouth. I know exactly what you want to do. Think this is my first time working with you guys? No. Excellent climbers, these black mambas. And you can hear I'm already out of breath. Look at that. Magnificent snake. Now it is calming down a little bit. It can come right out from there and smash that camera. They've got super good eyesight. Just want you to relax. Here we go. No. And they can climb really well up the hook stick in a matter of a second. And before I get onto the story of how I got bitten, I just need to make sure this mamba is completely relaxed and slowed down, because I can't work with it like this. It'll tag me for sure. And what it should do now is, now that it's out of its enclosure, it should just start relaxing a little bit. No. Let me just get it off there. And doesn't hurt the snake coming off the hook stick like that at all. They're super, it's just muscle. This whole snake's just made out of muscle. Let me try and see. I just want you to calm down. And put it over there and see, let it think it's climbing. Look at the strength of that snake, guys. Absolutely just powerful. 2 meters of just muscle and speed. The quickest snake in the world. There's no doubt about it. There's no snake in the world that is as quick as this snake. And in fact, when I was bitten in 2003, out of the this is a problem, I've lost its tail. Out of the 300 people that were in that show, not one of them saw me get bitten. That's how fast the snake was. So let me put it like this. There we go. Now you just sit. All right, so let me start talking now. So what happened in the show is I was doing a public demonstration, and at the stage I had about 10 black mambas, and I used a variety of them in shows. And then that morning, woo! The hook stick gave me a bit of hassles here. Oh, look at that, don't flash your mouth at me. Let's just leave the snake just like that. That might be quite cool. And what happened that morning is I took one of the snakes, which wasn't too aggressive, but it wasn't my most calm. This is quite a calm black mamba. He's quick. I mean, look at that, very, very quick. But he's quite calm. He hasn't actually tried to bite us. And some people say there's no such thing as an aggressive snake. Absolute load of rubbish. There are some black mambas that all they want to do is they want to bite you. And I have to be super careful when I'm working with these snakes, and I'm concentrating. Boy, am I concentrating right now. Every movement I'm watching. That's why I'll get onto the story as soon as I'm ready and comfortable to do that. But I'm watching the snake. All my energy, all my focus, 20 plus years of experience, all coming now to a head where I'm concentrating on this snake. The most dangerous and the quickest snake in the world. 5th most toxic venom of any snake in the world. And when they bite, they envenomate. They don't muck around. They don't give you too many warnings. They come in hard and fast, and they bite you, and then they bite, they mean business. And I was doing a show, and the Black Mamba was the last snake in my show. And I didn't have it on a hook stick like this. I had it on one of these grab sticks. And there are many different types of grab sticks in the world. I'm just going to swap it over onto the grab stick to give you that illustration. I had no gloves back then. 2003, there were no gloves around. And I had the snake up like this in the show. It was a much bigger mamba. It was a 2.8 meter mamba. And I don't recommend you work with grab sticks like this anymore. And I had the snake up like this. And it was a different type of a grab stick. One that didn't have this cable running down the middle. And what I did is I thought I had pressure on the snake. So I lifted it up out of its container. I thought I had pressure on it in that hook. And what is actually happening in those particular types of grab sticks, and I'll show you one in this picture, the handle, instead of closing down on the snake, had got jammed right over there. So I thought I had pressure on the snake the whole time. Meanwhile, the snake was just sitting like this. And actually what had happened is I'd hacked the snake off. It was grumpy then. Grumpy, hot, fully charged, and with lots of people moving in the audience, the snake wanted to come and bite me. And this is what he did. Exactly what he's doing now slowly. He came rapidly, full speed. And because he was a longer mamba, 2.8 meters, ooh, he's getting heavy now, even now. He came all the way down here and he pinned me right on this thumb. And you can see how he can just stretch all the way. Now I'm doing it with a glove, so I'm safe, and I've also anchored his body at the end of the hook stick over here. Look at that, he's anchored. He can't come too much closer, and I'm pulling against him. But that mamba came down so hard and fast, he pinned me right here on the thumb. And as he pinned me, I dropped the grab stick like this. Grab stick came down on the ground. I held the mamba by my hand like that. And that's the most dangerous part, because a snake like this can whip around. And often when a mamba bites you, it doesn't bite you once, it bites you repeatedly. Fortunately, I was at a facility that had a big kind of a production stage behind me, and I was on the stage, and there was a big curtain. So what happened is the snake went like this, ducked its head under the curtain to get away from me, and I could hold it with my hand. So I was holding the snake, its head was underneath that curtain, and it wasn't worrying about me trying to get away. And that's what probably saved my life. Repeated bites of that snake. One bite can kill up to 20 adult human beings. So if you're getting repeated bites, you're just talking about more and more venom being pumped into you. If one bite gives you 400 milligrams of venom, 14 milligrams, whoa, just relax. You can see how quickly they go from 0 to 100. Lightning fast. You just relax. I just want you to sit like that. You're going to sit there like a good mamba. Let me tell my story. Stay right there. I'm watching you. You come at me and I'm going to put the stick in between us. Whew. So 14 milligrams of venom will kill an adult human being, and one bite from a mamba, the record is 400 milligrams. That's a lot of venom. So as I got tagged, I thought, oh my gosh, worst nightmare ever. Fortunately, I wasn't allergic to mamba venom back then. And I got tagged by this snake, and instantly, within about 5 seconds, I felt pins and needles, electric pins and needles going throughout my face and my mouth. It's the strangest feeling I've ever felt. Almost feels like you're just getting little electric shocks going all the way around your mouth. And I knew I'd been envenomated and I'd had a bad one. It was like 2.8, almost 3 meter Black Mamba. It was angry and it had pumped me full of venom, 2 fangs in my thumb. Fortunately, it was the last snake of the show, so I ended the show then. No one in the audience, 300 people, none of them knew I'd been bitten by the snake. So I put the snake away, I walked right back to the back of the auditorium, and I said to the person in charge, I need to go to hospital. I had a mate with me who was driving me, and the guy says to me, wow, what happened? I said, I just got bitten. He said, what animal bit you? I said, the Black Mamba. Couldn't believe it. So I told him, phone the ER, tell them we're on the way, Black Mamba bite. And the problem you have with a lot of hospitals is a lot of people who get bitten by snakes in Africa will go in and everything's a Black Mamba. Oh, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. You, don't face me. Ooh. And you can actually hear now. Listen to Black Mambas have got the most bone-chilling hiss of any snake in the world. It's a don't come. Look at that. There we go. Let's talk about it a bit now. Because a lot of people in Africa go into hospitals, everything's a Black Mamba bite. And they go there, and it's not a Black Mamba. So I said, tell them please. I gave them my name because the hospital knew about me, that I work with venomous snakes. I said, I'm coming in with a Black Mamba bite. And I arrived at the hospital 10 minutes after the bite. That's really, really fast. We were going down one-way roads through red robots. And as we're going down, I feel the pins and needles coming down my hands, up my feet, right from my feet, up my legs. And I know what's happening is that neurotoxic venom is attacking my nervous system. And as soon as it gets to your diaphragm, what's going to happen? You're going to stop breathing. Look at the eyesight of the snake there, just watching you, watching that camera. I can sneak up a little bit closer now. There we go. And that neurotoxic venom was just impacting me and affecting me. It's stopping all the messages going from my brain to my muscles. And I know as soon as it gets to my diaphragm, that's me over. I'm dead. The diaphragm stops working, you die from asphyxiation. Don't look at me. Look at the snake now, it's just looking. And that tongue flick, that's irritation. That's not smelling the environment, that's saying, watch out. When it goes up and down like that, Black Mamba saying, I'm on guard. A little bit of a hood showing as well. And every now and again you hear, super, super dangerous snakes, these Black Mambas. Look at it, whipped around there and look at the camera. Once you move it, and we back up and look at that. And actually the snake, you just saw the camera hit the ground, straight at the cameraman out of nowhere. He was miles away, at least 3 meters away from the snake. And it went from a position of just sitting and relaxing to straight at him. And that's what I mean about these snakes here. Let me just move this out the way. It's going to be something for it to angle on. It just goes from 0 to 100 in a split second and without reason. Cameraman did nothing there to upset the snake. Doesn't like it when you hold its tail. There we go. You just relax now. And I'm holding this hook stick in between myself and the Mamba. So as I was saying, let me just try to see if it'll relax if I pick it up a bit. There we go. Just relax now. How's that? And as I was saying, what happened is I got to that emergency room 10 minutes afterwards and I knew things were getting tough. Things were getting close to me being in real trouble. I was battling to breathe. I tried to get out the car, the vehicle when we arrived there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stay on the hook stick. Don't come back. Why are you coming back now? Let me just reposition the snake until I'm happy with it. It was so nice when it was just lying on the floor. Far safer to work with. There we go. And I tried to step out of the vehicle and just fell over. And my legs had already become paralyzed 10 minutes after the bite. And instantly I knew I was in trouble. Fortunately, there was a brilliant doctor, Dr. Brumbacher. And he had had experience with dealing with venomous snake bites. He also knew me. He knew who I was. And he treated me. He got there really quickly. And he pumped me full of anti-venom. And also he intubated me, or he gave me a ventilator. And that was the last thing I remembered receiving, was having this ventilator shoved down my throat. And it wasn't like you see on Grey's Anatomy. I'm just watching, look at the snake backing up. I don't want you on my hand, boy. And that's the last thing I remember before I passed out. And you just have to be so careful with these snakes. Backing up, coming forward, ready to bite, climbing up the hook stick. And I passed out as that ventilator was going down. And I found out afterwards it was an emergency. Everything was closing up. I was battling to breathe and I was about to die. So they just took that and they just stuck it right down my throat as quickly as possible. For months afterwards, I had pieces of flesh coming out of my throat there from where the damage had been done when it goes down. But absolutely saved my life. And I was in a coma for about 9 hours after that and woke up later in the ICU in the hospital. And then, fortunately with Mamba venom, it's very quick acting, but if you can control it and if you get the anti-venom and if you're on a ventilator and on your heart and lung machines and everything else, the effects of the venom wear off fairly quickly. And I was in that ICU room, unable to talk and unable to move for about 3 days. 3 of the most scary days of my life. From the infamous Black Mamba. And 3 days later, I was finally discharged and my lungs had started working. That anti-venom took 3 days to get all that venom out of my system and my lungs started working on their own again. And that's how I survived the bite of the infamous Black Mamba. The most dangerous snake in the world, no ifs, buts, mites, maybes about it. The quickest snake, nervous snake, aggressive snake. But they are one of my favorites, and I don't know if it's because I've been bitten by one, but I respect them incredibly. I appreciate them. They get super big, the second longest venomous snake in the world, and they really are a real force to handle and to work with. But you look at it, it's like looking at a big grown tiger, like looking at a massive elephant, like a polar bear, like a great white shark. So all those animals, apex predators, top of the food chain where they come from. Absolutely incredible snake. So when it comes to handling and keeping and interacting with dangerous venomous snakes, just remember one thing, be careful. Learn from other people's mistakes. Don't let your mistake cost you your life. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Dingo out.